So Daytona, it's a little weird because unlike most races, or most series, Daytona is like the first race of the year, but also the biggest race of the year. So yeah, biggest race of the year for us, and the one that kind of the year is sort of focused around. So we're here to win it and see how it goes.
I think my goal, like the goal of all the team, is to be able to win again this year, but we are really humble about it. For sure, my personal goal is to win again and to try to grab a second win in a row at Daytona. But first of all, I think the most important is to do our own race, to work for us. And if at the end of the race, for the 2 or 3 final hours, we are still in the fight for the win, at that time, we'll try to put all together to catch this win.
For me, I think the big thing is just going to be staying out of trouble. The 24-hour races are all about trying to stay somewhere near the lead lap for the first 20 hours, see how it shakes out and go racing for the last 4 hours. It's iconic because it's Daytona. It feels like a coliseum, because you have that massive grandstand. It always brings out a ton of fans, and it's it's one of the top 2 biggest sports car races anywhere in the world. So it's a new addition for last year. The pre-race race was to set the qualifying grid. So wherever you finish in that race is your qualifying and starting position for the 24. And honestly, your starting position for a 24-hour race means nothing. So we just use it as an opportunity to test.
When you are doing some free practice or stuff like that, you never know the level of fuel or the tires which are using by the other cars. And it's always difficult to have a nice comparison to the others. Thanks to the roar, we know that at the beginning of the race and during all the race, because you have some strategy, but everybody have to restart with new tires and with full tank, which means that it's easy to see our performance compared to the others. Is it a race? But it's not really a race. Is it a race because at the end there is a winner, a second and third? But when I come today to the 24 hours of Daytona, I don't care about the roar. The roar is a race, but it's a practice for the big one. So as we saw last year, we had a small problem during the roar, but we work during the roar to improve the car, to have a better car for the 24 hours. And it's exactly what we did this year. We had a small problem also at the beginning of the roar, but it doesn't matter. What matters, it's the 24 hours race that we'll have at the end of the week, and it's what we are here for, and we are looking for the big one.
Super happy with the group that we have, and very, very happy with where we're at with preparation-wise on the car. I think we're looking pretty strong.
I think it's a real good point to have the same team with the same driver lineup, same engineers. We already know each other. We know our weaknesses, but our strengths also.
Driver-wise, lineup is identical to what we had last year when we won. So it was kind of a case of if it's not broken, don't fix it. Our front end guy, Rich, did a complete front block nose change all by himself, which is unheard of. So he's just now known as the Incredible Hulk. It's heavy. Like, I can lift it up myself, but I can't like swing it over the pit wall like he did and just smash it on the car. So yeah, that was pretty impressive.
We gave that a shot at the shop when we were doing a pit stop practice, and it worked out really well. So unfortunately, we got our opportunity during that first race, and it worked. And it works perfect. So from now on, yeah, I'll be doing it by myself.
Scott's background, well, it's not just Scott. It's a combination of like Scott, Nico Briso, who's our performance engineer, Tim, who was one of our engineers last year, who is now program manager, John, systems engineer, and Matt, who's data engineer. So our engineering staff, I think, is probably the best out there. How fast the car goes is up to them. Fuel load, tires, damper settings, bump rubber packer settings, all of that is to do with them. So they're really in charge. During the race, they'll call the strategy, all of that. They make my life easy. They make me look good because the car is always pretty quick. So honestly, any of the teams, all the teams are so good, any of us have a shot at winning it. But in a 24-hour race, like as well as being fast, like you need some luck.
So we're going to go, we've got soups, it's going to be pretty cold. We've got some pasta, we have lasagna, we have Greek yogurt with fruits, we have flapjacks, cereals.
English flapjacks, not American flapjacks, just to clarify.
There's a difference, apparently.
Massive difference.
All depends on A, how the driver's feeling when they get out, and B, what's going to work for energy, so depending on what time of night. All should be pretty tasty.
A lot of people say that it's an easy track, but I disagree with them because if this track is easier, it's easier for everybody. So to be faster than everybody, it's always the same.
Nighttime in Daytona is tough, leaving the pits on cold tires. So it's probably going to be 34, 36 degrees in the middle of the night. So yeah, it's going to be tough because it's just going to be trying to get any temperature in the tire is always hard. The big thing that people don't understand is the G-force in the car on the banking. Like, the car will pull like 5G. So at any stage when the car's pulling 5G, instead of weighing whatever I weigh 5 times that amount. And so just trying to move my leg when we're pulling like 2G, 3G on the banking, like all of a sudden it's like hard work and it's the strangest feeling.
I mean, we had issues earlier in the week as well. You know, little gremlins here and there. So the entire week, well, the entire 2 weeks really were not easy. And we were hoping for a good race, good result in the race, but unfortunately, just wasn't our weekend. So it is what it is. At least everything we did on the car held together and, you know, showed our ability to build them a proper race car.
Despite the outcome, I think it turned out well. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about the car, how well we can work together as a team, what each other's strengths and weaknesses are, and how we can utilize what we have to work together for the end result. Unfortunately, this time it didn't work out in our favor, but these kind of events keep us going, keep us pushing for the next one, because we're all craving that victory. When we service the cars in pit lane, we're limited to the amount of time that we can spend. So when we bring it back to the garage, we can have an unlimited amount of resources. So not knowing what the problem was from the beginning, we wanted to bring it here to have as much eyes on as possible. We wound up finding it rather fast. We resolved the problem within a couple of minutes, sent the car back out. It really wasn't a big deal. And then what ended the race for us, we had a gearbox malfunction and we lost drive in all gears. And that's what ended our race with 34 minutes to spare. Just being here for this experience, when you're a race mechanic, you kind of forget how big and meaningful some of this is to a lot of people. And you come out here and you get to see the tens of thousands of fans walking around, and then it's big, it's very moving. It's a very emotional sport for everybody involved, and I think that's probably my favorite part about racing in general.